Trainer extraordinaire, Naazim Richardson. We're 10 days away from a really big fight. It's kind of taken on a life of its own the last couple weeks. People getting ready for Steve Cunningham and Tomasz Adamek. What are your thoughts about 10 days out?
My thing is, like I said, the Adamek fight, the first fight was the kind of fight that I told him, don't even attempt to live up to that fight. Go out and win your fight. That fight is past. It gave the fans what they wanted, to your dismay, to a degree. So let's just be smart and sharp. We need the same tenacity, but it got to be from a smarter perspective.
You think, obviously, you weren't a part of the first fight. Now you're in the second fight. Your new set of voice, a new voice in his corner you've been with him for a couple of years, but for this fight, probably a different game plan. Do you think that plays into effect?
There's a lot of different factors now. They're bigger men. Adamek is more comfortable with this division. See, before when they fought, they were both comfortable cruiserweights. Steve was actually the more comfortable guy in the division. He'd been there longer. In this division now, Adamek has been there longer. I think he's a very underrated heavyweight. I think Tomasz Adamek is a beast. I think he's underrated. So we have to have a solid game plan. He has to stay focused throughout. There can't be mental lapses. The mistakes you made in the first fight, you won't be able to rebound from the mistakes from the bigger man.
The general consensus was that take away the knockdowns, Steve probably wins that fight.
Probably does.
He boxed very well. You think more or less if he sticks to the boxing, it could, I'm not going to use the term an easy night, but that's the best way to go about this?
We're going to have to make adjustments because Adamek is trained by an outstanding trainer. Adamek is an outstanding fighter. They saw the mistakes that were made. They have to take that assessment too. So they're going to change up and do different things, and we'll have to make adjustments.
You think, obviously, it's been 4 years. Both have had a bunch of fights since then. Do you think there may be a little bit more tread on Adamek's tires in the last 4 years than has been on Steve?
Adamek's a rough guy. And to underestimate Adamek in any capacity is just is ignorant to underestimate this man. Like I said, I think he's underrated. I really do. He's a monster, and we've seen that he's had a problem. He lost to one of the smallest men he faced. He lost to one of the biggest men he's faced. And then everything else in between, he's found a way to handle. So we have to stick with our game plan and be focused on us. We have to make sure we bring the best Steve Cunningham possible in order for us to deal with Adam.
You've been around the business a long time. Just the first, I'd say big fight. Obviously, I know there's a fight coming up on national TV on a different network. But this is a lot of people have been waiting for a fight like this to get back on the over-the-air channels, NBC, the big NBC network. What do you think of a fight like this now, kicking off the NBC portion of boxing?
Great question. Steve Cunningham has been in obscurity as a champion for years. He has losses that would have made him a bigger star than a lot of these guys' wins have done. He is an architect of what we know from the old school. He don't get up and try to survive. Today, fighters quit the minute they realize in the corner that their barber didn't raise their hairline properly. The guys quit if the ingrown toenail shows up. So Steve Cunningham gets up and tries to win fights. He's a throwback to that attestment. Being in obscurity all these years, not being on television, now he gets on NBC. If you know Pacquiao, if you know Mayweather and these names, you still know Ray Leonard's, you still know Hearns. These guys we saw fight on NBC and ABC. That's what network television did for fighters. So hopefully with him doing the right thing with this opportunity, he become a household name, the same way those guys did.
And off the beaten track for a minute, you mentioned the name Pacquiao. Everyone's still talking about what happened in Vegas on Saturday night. What's your 2 cents on that?
There's no hidden agenda here. Pacquiao, I really like Pacquiao as a person and as a fighter. I think Freddie Roach is an excellent trainer. I picked Marquez in all 4 fights. I thought he won all 4 fights. Marquez is just a technician like no other. And I've said that for years. He's phenomenal. Ricardo Lopez was my favorite fighter, and he's the second coming of Ricardo Lopez. I'm a Marquez fan. Marquez did something in that fight that's a bad blueprint for young fighters. Marquez was looking for a particular shot. But Marquez looking for a shot and these young kids looking for a shot is like me looking for a clue in a crime scene and Sherlock Holmes looking for a clue. It's a different whole level. And Marquez is that different level. He was looking for that shot. He was lining up that shot. And he knew he could get it the way he wanted. He came to the fight looking for that shot.
After a guy gets knocked out, as we'll use the term brutally, Pacquiao did. I mean, I know you haven't talked him out. You probably haven't been, you had not been around probably since Saturday as well. What would you advise a fighter like that to do? A lot of times they don't come back the same.
They may not. The thing is, going in, Freddie made some comments about maybe asking Pacquiao to sit down if he didn't look like himself. Who didn't. And Freddie's closer to the situation than anybody else. They'll have to have that discussion. They have a great team in place. They may decide they want to do something else. And that'll be their choice, and the public will have to support them. This guy gave us fight after fight of electricity. Even in his loss, it was an exciting fight. So this is a cat that doesn't owe anybody anything. You know what I mean? So it'll be up for him, his team, and his family to decide whether or not they want to move forward. My thing is, I wish him well. You know what I mean? I say a prayer out for him and his family. And like I say, whatever his endeavors are in the future, I pray that the guy's successful.
Well, we'll see you on December 22nd in Bethlehem, PA with your guy Steve Cunningham. See you then.
Thanks again.